Well, the main message that I wanted to get across was to kind of explain a little bit where we come from and what we now see as the kind of key things that come up next, which immediately, of course, is the kind of transposition into national laws. And there, the panel gave a few kind of good messages in terms of the things that we should look out for and focus on. And then also wanted to give a little bit of clarity to the audience and to the stakeholders about the things that we need to review in not a too distant future. Equivalence, ESNs, and the overall functioning of the whole new framework, including all its constituent parts, liquidity buffer, over-collateralization, EMS, performance, and the like.
Reaching a compromise agreement between the various political families within the European Parliament as well as among the member states was not easy. We managed to reach this compromise with a real European approach without disrupting national markets, cover bond markets, at the same time trying to protect the cover bond brand and taking into considerations the operators' concerns. In the end, I'm really satisfied with this result that we voted in plenary last week. It addresses possible risks and vulnerabilities in the market with the prudential requirements in dealing with the cover assets, liquidity buffers, extendable maturity structures. At the same time, tries to harmonize national practices with regards to transparency and supervisions, and this is very important in order to create a level playing field among the operators. And finally, the last aspect is that we are launching this harmonization process. In fact, we are calling on the Commission to come up with a number of reports by 2025 on a number of issues which were really crucial in the negotiations, like extendable maturity structures, European secure notes, liquidity buffers, over-collateralizations, exposures to credit institutions. And now, what I said also in the discussions, we are leaving the member states with this task. We have to try to harmonize and make all the rules heterogeneous. In this regard, the European Covered Bond Council will play an important role, trying to bring all the operators, let's say, close and discuss these topics.
I think the main takeaway from the industry was that we were quite happy with the directive that we have now put in place. We think that it strikes a good balance. It was built on a very solid foundation, and so the overall message is that we are quite happy with the results. Obviously, along the way, there were issues that were needed to be compromised on. There were concerns, obviously, also from us as in the Danish community. They were primarily regarding which assets could actually be put into to back a covered bond, but there were also extendable maturities. But they all ended up being very nice and very amicable, I would say, for everybody. I believe. So we are quite happy with the end result.
It looks like after what seems to have been a disputed negotiation between the European institutions, that the Covered Bond Directive has reached an end and seen the light of day. And the role of the industry was absolutely key in this whole process in ensuring that the final text reached that optimal point, short of which it would risk to come out too permissive, too flexible, and undermining the whole harmonization process, yet beyond which it would risk coming out too stringent, too prescriptive and excluding important portions of the covered bond market and thus undermining its relevance. So it was a balanced outcome all in all. On a separate aspect, I would like to probably to mention the case of jurisdictions like Portugal. The fact they have come later into the European covered bond space, faced with the reality of a relatively small domestic market, and the need to ascertain their issuers into the wider European covered bond market, has led a lot, legislators and practitioners to pick up the best features of existing legal frameworks at the time. The immediate result was a rather robust and even conservative piece of legislation, but also gave us a good degree of comfort in facing this harmonization exercise. This all said, we are not there yet, and I think that the transposition phase will be key, and the industry will yet again have a chance to play a pivotal role in this whole process to ensure that the level of discretion left to member states, which is welcomed, but it's a double-edged sword, it's used to enhance the credit profile of covered bond programs, and instead of introducing unnecessary and inadequate legal features, while keeping up with the governing principles of the covered bond directive. So, well done to everybody involved, with a special note to the European Covered Bond Council in coordinating this whole effort and making our voice heard by the European institutions.